Hi, my name is Jacob Adams, curator for the Virginia onAir Election Sub. Today I'll be sitting down for an interview with Terry Modglin, candidate for Virginia's 49th House District.
The campaign here is in its last month now, and there's something big happening every day.
So let's just start off with a simple question. What got you involved in politics?
I've always been interested in leadership positions and in political life. I remember when I was 6 years old, still being interested in the presidential campaigns at that time, and in each of the successive levels that I went to, high school, college, and so on, I've run for some sort of office, student council, was student council president at Georgetown, one of the councils there, and then I'm on my condo board now, and that's local politics, if you will, but very, very important. And so I'm interested. I've been interested because there isn't anything that affects our lives more in terms of what we do every day than the laws that we make.
So, having worked in those types of leadership positions, what do you think has been your biggest accomplishment?
I would cite two that are not related to the state legislative process. I was the executive director and for 25 years involved in youth crime prevention and youth development. We had an annual conference that brought students from about 35 states and many foreign countries as well. For many of those students, it was their first time that they had been out of their neighborhood. Many of them were from public housing or whatever. Some of those young people today are in high positions in government and in the nonprofit sector and so on. But one of the most important things was that they were exposed to the wider world. They knew that there was a way up and that what was in their neighborhood was not the only thing in the world. The second accomplishment was for my 173rd Airborne Association chapter and association. I served in the military for a little over 4 years. I was in Vietnam for 20 months. And the unit that I was with, the 173rd Airborne Brigade, suffered over 1,600 casualties, fatalities, KIAs in the war. We always wanted to build a memorial to them in the United States. And I was on the board of directors by reason of being chapter president here. Make a long story short, we were able to build a memorial that cost about $800,000 that is down at Fort Benning. And had I not been involved, I'm not sure that would have ever been done because I had to lead it through the board of directors against a lot of conflict. So those are two things that are lasting legacies that I'm very proud of.
All right. So one thing I guess that's unique about you is that you're running as an independent candidate. So, well, what can you tell me sort of about the decision to do that and like your experience with it so
Thank
far?
you. On Capitol Hill, I was a Democratic staff director. I left the Democratic Party essentially because I'm a pro-life person and candidate. I was a Republican and for a while, and then I couldn't take their tone deafness to the firearms issue and to and the tax cuts that I thought were could bankrupt our country. So I don't fit into any of the neat boxes, and I think the biggest challenge is in campaigning is to get people to think more widely about the facts and not just to vote for a label.
So, what has organizing your campaign around that been like so far?
Well, I get the greatest emotional support, if you will, from the pro-life movement, but I'm also been affiliated with the Independent Green Party, which is a more conservative version in Virginia of the Green Party. So I certainly recognize the crisis that confronts us with respect to climate. It's right smack in our face right now. And I am a particular advocate for more metro lines that can take more cars off the street. Anything we do to take cars off the street, cut commuting time, more bikeable, walkable pathways and so on in our communities. That's important. So those are, as a veteran, I understand the sacrifices that our men and women have made for our country, and both first responders and military veterans commit suicide at twice the rate of the general population, and that's because of all the traumatic incidents that they have been exposed to. The average policeman, fireman, so on, has been exposed to about 180 traumatic incidents a year, and so there is a lot of problem there with addiction and with suicide. Boots of Humanity, which is a group that's dedicated to dealing with those problems, endorsed me.
So, along with those things that you just talked about there, what do you think are your main priorities should you be elected into office?
Well, I have to say that as someone who got into this race because of the attempt to ease the restrictions on late-term abortions, because I believe that that child in the womb is a human being deserving of the protections, human rights protections, it's important to me that we not loosen our the parameters that we have on abortions right now. So that's an important goal. Getting anything that we can do done in terms of more climate-friendly transportation methods, and that means fewer cars or converting those cars to electric or whatever it takes is less of a carbon footprint. Those are priorities. But if I had to name one thing that I would be particularly interested in that I think we have walked past at the state and local level is the opioid epidemic. So for 25 years I was involved in, as I said, in youth crime prevention and municipal crime prevention and youth development. The opioid epidemic is real, and the numbers in Virginia have not come down. What we need is more collaboration. So, for example, in talking to the people in Arlington, one of the problems is people get out of jail in Alexandria, but they're from Arlington, and so they go back into the community, and they can frequently fall between the cracks, is what we used to say in a lot of the social services, and vice versa. They Alexandrians who are in Arlington jails and so on. So we need. I've worked in a little bit in what we call reentry, supporting people who are coming out of incarceration, and you need intensive help there in the beginning to make sure that they don't go back to the same poor environment that they had or the same addiction.
All right. So, I guess one final question sort of is, what do you think that what do you think we could do more as a society to get young people in particular involved in elections and students as well?
That's been a principal goal in my entire life. And when I get involved in these campaigns, I have always had young people involved. I look upon that as one of my goals, the involvement of young people that will help sustain our democratic republic in the future. So first I would say get involved right away at the student council level and your chapters that you have on campus. Get involved in local government. I'm on my condo board, 825 units, sort of like a little city. So get involved in those things and get a taste of what it's like. Get involved in a campaign. But recognize that there is no candidate that's perfect for you, right? So no candidate and no political system, no party is going to align with what you believe, at least in your heart, up and down the line. So you have to recognize that in politics that you maintain your principles, your integrity, while at the same time, which is a goal, by the way, that I have for the legislature to do more there, but while maintaining that, there is also compromise in communication that's necessary. In our country today, those lines have been frayed. And as one of my past bosses used to say, it's not just what we do, but the way we do it. It's how we do it. And so if there is a lot of invective, vitriol, and ad hominem attacks on other people, that makes it much more difficult to come to a conclusion that can move us all forward.
All right. Well, I think that will just about do it for us. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet. It was
Thank
great
you.
interviewing you.